Have you seen the silhouette of a champion yet? Many say it's too early to tell. But at the very least, Arsenal has just shown the composure of a giant overcoming a mountain of pressure. With Manchester City breathing down their necks after a narrow win over Leeds, the Gunners were backed into a corner. They had to sink Chelsea, a team desperate to end a 6-game winless streak. To do it, Arsenal had to unleash their deadliest masterclass. They stayed clinical, stayed sharp, and silenced the Emirates' nerves. Let's break down how they conquered this vital hurdle. Matchday 28 of the Premier League kicked off in an atmosphere so thick you could barely breathe. Chelsea arrived in North London ready to play the spoiler, refusing to be just another stepping stone. From the first whistle, sparks flew in the midfield. The Blues were proactive, circulating the ball to stretch the play. Cole Palmer was everywhere, hugging the touchline and whipping dangerous crosses into the 6-yard box. Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez were relentless, flying into tackles to shut down any forward momentum from Martin Zubimendi and Declan Rice. But despite having less possession, the Gunners knew exactly how to punish individual errors. In the 15th minute, Robert Sanchez wandered dangerously far from his goal. Eberechi spotted it instantly, launching a strike from the halfway line. The ball sliced through the air toward the empty net, but Sanchez scrambled back just in time to claw it away. Curiously, the officials denied Arsenal a corner, despite the ball clearly crossing the line before the keeper pushed it back. It was a stern warning, and in the 21st minute, that threat became reality. Bukayo Saka stepped up to the right corner, curling a ball deep toward the back post. Gabriel Magalhaes used his massive frame to overpower his marker, heading it across the face of the goal. William Saliba was there to provide the slightest touch, deflecting it off a defender and into the net. 1-0 for the hosts. The stadium erupted. One fan, Gunnar Life 99, commented, "Another corner. They've turned corners into penalties." Gabriel and Saliba are a literal meat grinder for any defense. The goal stung Chelsea's pride. They surged forward, pinning Arsenal back. In the 31st minute, Zubimendi made a shocking error, a weak back pass toward David Raya. João Pedro smelled blood, sprinting to intercept. It was a heart-stopping collision as Raya lunged to clear it just in time. However, disaster struck in first-half stoppage time. Chelsea earned a corner on the left. Reece James whipped in a vicious, inward swinging ball. Piero Hincapié leapt to clear it, but the ball grazed his hair, changed direction, and flew into his own net, completely wrong-footing Raya. 1-1. A haunting silence fell over the Emirates. The second half remained a battlefield. Both sides fought for every inch of grass. In the 52nd minute, Enzo Fernandez burst through the right channel, firing a low drive that forced a fingertip save from Raya. Tensions boiled over. In the 59th minute, Cole Palmer saw yellow for dragging down Saka. Mikel Arteta was livid on the touchline, signaling for a harsher punishment. By the 65th minute, Joral Hato was booked for a foul on Jurrien Timber. The game was becoming fragmented by the referee's whistle. A neutral observer noted, "This isn't football, it's a gladiatorial battle." Chelsea is incredibly stubborn away from home. To break the deadlock, Arsenal turned back to their secret weapon. In the 66th minute, Declan Rice stood over the ball. Hand raised, the signal. He whipped a lethal curve right into the corridor of uncertainty. Robert Sanchez came out but got caught in traffic, flapping desperately at thin air. Behind him, Jurrien Timber came charging in. The Dutchman guided a header into the net. 2-1. The stadium shook as Arsenal reclaimed the lead with their trademark set-piece play. Speaking after the match, Jurrien Timber said, "We deserved this win. Set pieces are a huge part of our identity now. It gives us a massive advantage. And we hope for a beautiful ending to this season." Arsenal didn't just win a derby, they showed the grit required to stay at the top. The set-piece kings march on. The frustration finally boiled over for Chelsea. In the 70th minute, Gabriel Martinelli ignited his afterburners down the left wing. Pedro Neto, in a desperate, lung-busting pursuit, lunged in with a reckless challenge. The Emirates erupted in fury. The referee didn't hesitate, brandishing a second yellow card and sending the Portuguese winger off. Neto had picked up 2 yellows in a staggering span of just 2 minutes and 58 seconds. Everything seemed to be collapsing for the visitors. But strangely, the man advantage didn't make life easier for Arsenal. Down a man, Chelsea refused to die. They fought with a nothing to lose spirit that earned the respect of the entire stadium. Despite the exhaustion and the muscle cramps, they ran themselves into the ground to plug every hole. They pushed their lines high, launching a barrage of balls into the Arsenal penalty area. In the 86th minute, Liam Rossinier rolled the dice, subbing on Alejandro Garnacho and Liam Delap to salvage a point. Chelsea's sheer stubbornness forced the Gunners into a desperate defensive shell. In the 91st minute, Trevoh Chalobah carved open the defense with a slide rule pass, putting Delap into space. If Delap had squared the ball, Garnacho was waiting for a tap-in, but William Saliba, cool as ever, used his elite recovery speed to shoulder the striker off the ball legally, snuffing out the danger. The drama wasn't over. In the 92nd minute, Garnacho whipped a cross from the left. João Pedro met it with a thunderous, glancing header. The ball skipped off the turf, heading toward the bottom right corner. But David Raya, moving like a giant spider, flew across his goal. With his fingertips, he clawed the ball off the very goal line. It was a save that felt like a winning goal. A Chelsea fan on X, formerly Twitter, lamented, "Down a man and we still suffocated them." If Raya hadn't made that miracle save, we leave with a point. Our boys fought until the very last breath. The clock ticked toward the final whistle. The 6 minutes of stoppage time felt like centuries for the home fans. Some were even seen whispering prayers in the stands. Every eye was fixed on David Raya's box. Chelsea poured everyone forward, massive frames leaping for every inch of air. Every touch from a blue shirt was met with deafening whistles from the crowd, trying to rattle the visitors' resolve. Finally, in the 96th minute, the whistle blew. The match ended with dozens of fouls, a testament to the sheer brutality of the Premier League. Mikel Arteta stood on the touchline, puffing his cheeks out in relief, his eyes bloodshot from a night of screaming instructions. Arteta was full of praise in his interview, a massive win. "I'm over the moon. Set pieces played a crucial role. Chelsea was excellent today, they were only one goal worse than us. Lately, we haven't scored much from corners. So today it was necessary. When executed well, they are a nightmare to defend. The feeling of must win is the beauty of this league." On the other side, Liam Rossinier stood with his arms crossed, his face a mask of disappointment. He shook his head at his team's wasted chances. "It's the same script from the last 3 games. He confessed. "We controlled the game but weren't ruthless in either box. 2 goals conceded from corners and a red card. Arsenal is probably the best in the world at set pieces. They created nothing except from dead balls. We just didn't hold firm in the big moments." In the end, the Emirates faithful took home the 3 points, maintaining a solid 5-point lead over Manchester City. Albeit having played an extra game, the set-piece party proved once again to be the ultimate weapon against the league's toughest defenses. This London Derby win was a loud statement of intent from the league leaders. The race continues, and the Gunners' cannons are still firing. That grit will be their most important asset as the coming rounds promise to drain the physical and mental energy of anyone daring to reach for the throne.